I'm announcing today, I'm putting my ass on the line. I'm telling you, there is a black swan event coming, and everybody in this room almost is gonna get wiped out. And this is for real. This is not a joke, which is better for us. This is our fucking time. When I was thinking about changing the seminar, which it is changed, there's many things that I am different about than you. But the four basics. I never asked why in my whole life, I don't think. Never. Never asked why. I wasn't interested in the whys. I was only interested in the hows. Second thing is, I never wanted to be like, never. Since I'm 4, 5, 6 years old, I only wanted to be able to get shit done. Meaning I wanted to be effective. And my father, God rest his soul, told me, sticks and stones can break your bones, Danny, but words can never hurt you. Because I had a lot of shit said up to me growing up. And now it's just the opposite. We have people committing suicide because they're not liked on Facebook. Sticks and stones can break your bones, but words will never hurt you. And I've ridden that horse to death. And I never believed in fear because I always knew it was false expectations appearing real. And when you go back and we look at the icons, and I know you saw movies, we haven't discussed them yet. The icons, they were not dissimilar to this. Familiarity breeds contempt. Does everybody understand what that means? The reason why you're all fucked is because you'd rather be liked than effective. You're pleasers. You're bootlickers. You're brown nose, whatever I know, of course you're not, but you're still fucking poor, aren't you? Well, then you're doing something else wrong. You're ass kisses. But whether you're Muslim, Jewish, agnostic, I don't give a fuck. I treat everybody the same. And I've been doing that for as long as I can remember. Hard works. And for those of you that say that you've read all my shit online, you're lying. You haven't. Because if you read all the shit online, you wouldn't be here. I'll phrase that again. Read and absorbed all the shit online, you wouldn't be here. Because you would have sucked up your pantyhose, grabbed yourself by your nuts, and gone off and done it and pulled the trigger. I could have written a book in 4 words, just fucking do it. But you don't. Or you think it's like a Chinese menu, and I'll take a little Sichuan this, and I'll take a little of this, and take a little of that, when you gotta swallow the whole motherfucker. Because you do things within your comfort zone. And all my life, all I do is things out of my comfort zone. I'm comfortable being uncomfortable. My status quo now is discomfort, 365 days a year. I walk by my cars outside. Now, when I look at those 3 cars, I don't see anything. I don't see $1.5 million worth of cars. Because I've been driving Rolls Royces since 1971. I'm 25 and a half years old. When our kids come to this house, they don't see but a house. They don't see a manicured estate that costs, $100,000 a month, more or less, to keep. That's their comfort zone. Now, Brian Rose, I've said before, he came to the hardcore 1.5 years ago. And I've told people, we've had people shit their pants or panties. We've had women as well. We've had people throw up, we've had people pass out. And this is before Corona, everybody squeezed together. And the guy there, with his hand on his chin, went into a seizure convulsion and fell over on him, spitting up all over his new suit. We had 2 doctors we had 3 doctors in the audience, or not in the attendees. Not one of them went over to help the guy. Not one. And then finally a nurse, a practicing nurse, went over and pulled his tongue out of his mouth. That's the real world. Why? Because they fix you and then you die, your family sues them. That's the world we're living in. And as I said last night, the only good fucking thing that's ever happened to QLA is a motherfucking Corona, which is better for us. This is our fucking time. Yet some of you in this room won't take advantage of it. Full-time professors at Harvard make $235,000 a year. Full-time professors at Oxford and Cambridge make less. Of course, they write books and shit like that. But it's a very rare professor that makes $1 million a year. He's got to be on Oprah and CNBC and Good Morning fucking Britain and to make any money. Yet they're learned people, aren't they? Most people don't have the balls to say they have no balls, even if they know it categorically. Most cover their inadequacies up with jargon that is popular at the time, or mere platitudes. But based on my high performance in 7 decades, having no balls is mostly masked by procrastination. Those who take the most notes have a higher probability of making it. Those that have to take no notes almost assuredly will fail. All you should be concerned about is how. Now, I'm going to say this again. I've been saying this for 28 years when we only had 6 billion people. This is for the 0.0001 on the planet. That's it. That doesn't mean all these people are going to be billionaires. Only about 750,000 are capable because they got the sacks, the balls, the grit, the fortitude to do these things, to make the human sacrifices required. That's it. And Corona has, not that I needed any validation, has validated my numbers. When you can take a meathead with an 80 IQ and have him walk away with $70 million in 7 months, you are God. And I am. I am the motherfucking come again Christ. Because nobody, not one motherfucker on this planet has done what I've done. The average handshake of a man in the 80s was 105 pounds pressure. A woman, 88 pounds pressure. You know what it is today? An average man is 70 pounds pressure, and a woman is 75 pounds pressure. Testosterone levels have dropped in the last 15, 20 years. We're fucked, which makes it good for us. I'm announcing today, I'm putting my ass on the line. I'm telling you, there is a black swan event coming. I don't know if we're going to war with Putin. I don't know if another corona is going to come out that is not curable. I don't know whether the Federal Reserve is going to finally implode. I don't know what it is, but it's coming. Because every massive bull market needs to find an excuse to correct. And even though we had a recession that only lasted 70 days or 80 days or whatever it was, the market is way, 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 way overvalued. And the big smart money, if you follow it, which you don't, 95% of them have all taken money off the table. In other words, taken a lot of profits. And they're working with the money that they earn. Back in 2017, December 2017, the Bitfuck got up to $17,000. I said, this is the top of the market for right now. Sell half, keep half, is what I told everybody. Nobody listened. Not one motherfucker listened. But in the 7 recessions that I've been through, which coincidentally in the 7 decades that I've been successful, there has been a correction, there's going to be one, and I don't know what it is. I thought for a moment when supposedly the Ruskies supposedly shot at the British ship, supposedly in the last 2-3 days, I thought that was it. And I said, oh my God, we got to get the slide out now. I'm going to miss the I'm going to miss the war. But it didn't happen, so I dodged that one. But something like that's going to happen. And everybody in this room almost is going to get wiped out, except me. And the black swan, these are the stock indices, and this is Warren Buffett's indice, which I don't necessarily follow. And the last time that it was this high was crash of 2000, financial crisis. Now, my background is I used to be a Dow theorist. I used to be a gold bug. I was one of the first individuals on the Chicago Board of Option Exchange. I used to trade commodities. There's not one facet of the financial services that I have not been a part of. And in some ways, I was one of the founders, although I wasn't on the board of Certified Financial Planners. I've got a lot of experience. And when I tell you the fucking end's coming, the tsunami's coming, I know what I'm talking about. And you're not prepared. Margin debt at an all-time high. You borrow to buy stocks. Most people don't realize that don't own Bitfuck, you can leverage it 95%. And that's why the swings are so great in the price of Bitcoin. Because when you borrow 95 cents on the dollar and it drops $10, you got to come up with equity. You've got to come up with more money, more rubles, more shekels, more pounds, more euros. Total margin debt. Dot-com bubble of 2000, Great Recession. Now, it's got to correct. There are kids that are teaching seminars now that are collecting money from you that say that the new news, we're never going to have recessions anymore. We're never going to have bear markets anymore. And we're going to borrow until we all drop dead. Not true. This is very much like the bubble in synthetic asset-backed CDOs before the great financial crisis, in that price and setting in that market was not done by fundamental security level analysis, but by massive capital flows based on Nobel-approved models, and the risk wasn't accounted for. Most people that lose money have done it because of a poor risk assessment. They don't understand. In the last 15 or 20 years, you didn't have, well, other than in 20 years, the collapse of the .com market, you don't know how to assess risk. Do you realize 87% of all the money managed on the planet, many trillions, is managed by people under 30 years old? 87% of all the money managed is managed by dipshits under 30 years old. Do you want somebody 28, 27 years old managing your fucking assets? I certainly hope not. Now, he lived through his black swan. The whales fucking swallowed him. You're not going to be that fortunate. The world's not going to spit you out. I've had several of these occurrences, and I'm still here to talk about it. And this is for real. This is not a joke. Sally and I rode on a plane with Vice President Gore a number of years ago, and he said by 2013 there will be no snow in the North and South Pole, which was a fucking lie when he said it, and it's still a lie. And now he's on with a new deal about every day there's more hydrogens that go up into the atmosphere than 200 atomic bombs at Hiroshima. Every day, he says. I'd like to fact check that fuck. Global warming is good for us. Almost anything that causes chaos is good for us. There he's buying his beachfront house. Now, do you think, Barack Obama also just bought a beachfront house. Do you think that if global warming was for real, and the best case scenario is the water's going to rise 10 meters, 35 feet, would they be buying houses on the water? On the motherfucking water! If there was any remote chance that the water was going to go up 30 feet, 35 feet. It's a joke! And as I said, when Sally and I were at the South Pole several years ago, and we got married there, and you talk to the scientists there, they all start laughing. And the three highest negative footprints on the planet, i.e. putting shit in the air, are Gates, Jennifer Lopez, and Paris Hilton in their private jets, plural. And then there you are getting on the fucking trolley for £2.40. It's crazy right now in the world.